I think many people in St. Louis may be surprised at what a vibrant and active American Indian community we have here.
Well, I certainly am. And I didn't even know that you met this guy.
Of all places, I met him at a poetry reading.
Well, I was there.
I know. Well, Pete and I were in the corner talking. Yeah. Pete Coser is the program manager of the Buder Center for American Indian Studies at Washington University.
Correct.
So is this something that was already in place and then you came in, or did you found this? Are you the founder?
No, no. So it was founded in 1990 with Kathryn Buder and the Buder family, set up through the Buder Foundation. We're actually celebrating our 25th year. This past August, we had our 100th graduate confer their degree. So we've graduated 100 American Indian, Alaskan Native students from the Brown School.
And Alaskan Natives are also considered American Indian, is that correct?
Kind of two distinctive groups, particularly, there's a lot of similarities between indigenous people, shared community values, and a lot of other stuff. Alaskan Native folks are I guess in different terms, different. But I mean, they're placed in the same community we are.
Are you from St. Louis originally?
No, so I am originally from Oklahoma. I was born in Tahlequah, heart of Cherokee Nation. Grew up in Stillwater. Went to school at Oklahoma State. So I'm a huge Cowboys fan, even though they lost in the first round of the basketball tournament.
I knew you were getting into sports somehow.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to St. Louis.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Let me be the first. You know, as the culture, Ron was saying in the beginning that, we don't really, I mean,
we're not that aware of it.
Yeah.
It seems like, my mind is, and it's a question I have to ask, my mind is troubled with this. Is the American Indian an endangered species, or are you just that well hidden from everyday life?
Depending on what the lie you're looking at, yeah. I mean, endangered peoples, because there are issues out there concerning land. Mm-hmm. The Keystone XL pipeline, for instance, would have cut straight through tribal jurisdictions in Montana and the Dakotas. And then as a people, unfortunately, we have a high rate of suicide as well. So you're talking about kids young as 12 taking their life, very young age. And
why? Why is that?
Just a number of factors. Unfortunately, we have, there is something called historical trauma that talks about something in the past, something as traumatic like boarding school era. The experiences of grandparents learning certain ways, behaviors that are not common to indigenous communities, and then that frustration, that abuse is transferred from one generation to another, and then keeps filtering down. So that's one explanation. Another explanation is the environment. So, for a large part, tribes often butt heads with local city, state, and federal governments, especially on Indian affairs and how we manage our own communities. And so whenever there's a place of a feeling of hopelessness, sometimes, unfortunately, that happens. What we do at the Buder Center is definitely try to provide solutions. The graduates do a great job. They're located in 26 states. They work at just about any level you can talk about, nonprofit to state to local city.
Well, fortunately, being that it is your 25th anniversary at Buder Center, there are a couple of events coming up here in St. Louis. One is the celebration of your 25th anniversary, I'd assume. It's on April 4th.
Right. So our powwow will be April 4th. Unfortunately, the athletic center at the school at Wash U is under renovation. They're
so you're going across the street to Font Pond.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a big hole, and but no, the folks at Font Pond have been great. They've opened up their facility. They're looking forward to hosting us, and our event will, at the end of the day, will probably look at hosting about 4,500 people.
And when I say fortunately, because this will be an opportunity for people in St. Louis to learn more about the center and learn more about the American Indian culture here in St. Louis.
Correct. So there are there are 3,000 Native Americans living in the St. Louis metropolitan
that's what
area.
I was going to ask. Now, 3,000, is that a lot or a little in terms of other parts of the United
Well, there
States?
are 2 million people in the area, so they are definitely
No, I mean,
a minority
of
of
Indians
minorities.
compared
Oh,
to...
in other cities?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Thanks.
There, it's probably, as far as population relationship to, let's say, Chicago or Minneapolis, those cities have a pretty large Native American community. So they've got a great concentration of folks, particularly because of population. St. Louis has a strong concentration. It's just not many of us.
Okay. All right. Now, in addition to the powwow on April 4th, you also have a cooking demonstration on April 1st. Tell us about that.
Right. So it's called Hunt, Fish, Gather. But the chef, his name is Chef Nephi Craig, and he's from Arizona. He has his own restaurant located at a resort. And at their restaurant, they do cook Native American foods as a part of their menus.
That'd be cool. Oh. So you can search Buddha Center.
Yeah, I want to just check out the food alone.
Yeah,
sure.
well, Buddha Center on Facebook as well as Twitter to follow them. And you also have a website.
We do have a website, just basically buddha.woostel.edu. It'll have the announcement for the powwow and the Hunt and Fish Gather. It'll be a cooking demonstration. He'll do his thing. He does a great job connecting Native American spirituality and identity into the foods he prepares. So it'll be a great event located in Tisch Commons.
Great, and a great opportunity to become more familiar with the American Indian culture here in St. Louis. And Peter, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great to have you. Today's segment is made possible through the generosity of Dr. Matt Bays, MD, with Blue Tail Medical Group here in St. Louis. Blue Tail Medical Group specializes in regenerative, non-surgical therapies. If you're a candidate for regenerative therapy, request an appointment online at bluetailmedicalgroup.com.